of the various parties that need to come on board to help fill this out, to see what is the right way forward. That is very, very welcome, because there is no one clear-cut answer on this. And there is no one clear-cut direction that will give everybody the right answer. But if we can back it with the facts, if we can actually give the people the correct resources that is required to make the right decisions, that is more than welcome. And we as a party at all times have supported the way you have progressed the whole Commission in relation to the mother and baby homes. And we will continue to support your works with the mother and baby homes, because I believe, as an independent woman in government, I think you actually have the empathy, the understanding, and you have the right reasons of the people, and that comes very, very clear. And as long as you keep there, we will keep supporting this particular Commission. We do believe that the terms of reference would need to be expanded and would need to be broadened, but I think in actual fact what you have written here and what you have committed to doing, that is a first step in expanding it and having an understanding of it. I am heartened also to hear that you are bringing in an international rapporteur to give best guidance, because while at the moment it is a blackness of what had happened at that moment in time and that over those years in Irish society, it is very, very regrettable. But we have to see how we can work through that fractured part of society and that fractured part of history. And I think by bringing in somebody very independent and somebody with such critical expertise is very welcome. One of the key points also is the access to the records of the former mother and baby homes. And I am glad to hear that you have TUSLA brought on board and you are actually expanding it and giving them, looking for them to support residents that has come forward. And yes, in the information and tracing bill that is coming before the committee and coming before the Dáil, we will be supporting it, because I've met with a number of the residents, former foster children that was through the mother and baby homes, and that is one of the requirements that they keep talking to me about, the access to the records. And in actual fact, that's awful important, and we will be supporting you on that. Minister, just to conclude, this is a very positive thing, and I welcome it, and I appreciate the hard work you and your department have put into this. And for the people who are sitting in the gallery who will get hopefully a transcript of this afterwards, and they hear what you have done, communication, you are right, is the key. And the people who need to hear this first are the residents, are the former residents of the mother and baby homes. They don't need to see it in the front page of any of the papers first. They need to be part of it, because with their intervention and with the cooperation of the department, they themselves, along with the department, they know where they want to bring this, and we will be very supportive of this. So thank you for your report this afternoon. Thank you.
Yes. Gurv Mahagat. As a state, we must continue to hang our heads in shame when we think and contemplate of the injustices faced by the many survivors of the mother and baby homes, particularly as they are reaching their latter years. And it's imperative that justice and recognition be delivered to them as soon as possible. And in all of this, we must also look at the justice on how we can give to those that have left us, and that they are remembered and recognised in an appropriate way. Our history shows us that the state delegated many of its responsibilities to religious orders through the years, and I want to put on the record my own thanks and gratitude to many in the religious orders who did so much for all of us. And on a personal level, I certainly had the great support and help of the Sisters of Mercy in Rathangan, where I went to school, and have seen it first-hand, all of the great help and support that they have given the community. But certainly, a lot of mistakes were made, and we as a nation has to learn from our failure to protect and to monitor and to supervise. And that's a very costly lesson, and one that can never be measured in its entirety, as it is the suffering and the abuse of our most vulnerable citizens that quantifies this. And now it is up to the state to ensure that any delegation to service providers is always of the highest standard, and that those members of our society that are most vulnerable are not subject to abuse or mistreatment. My party, Fianna Fáil, welcomes the publication of this report as an important step towards the final report and an important milestone for survivors. We've always supported the Commission, as you know, Minister, as a means to bring justice to the victims of these homes, and we remain supportive of the process of the Commission. I want to commend the Minister for the steps that she has just outlined, and I have absolutely no doubt that Minister Zappone will work constructively and closely with the groups over the coming months to ensure that the work of the Commission is focused on the survivors. We agree that the present terms of reference are too narrow, and we absolutely support the expansion of these terms. And we ourselves as a party will be engaging with survivor groups, as Deputy Rabbitte has said, to discuss the interim report and to get their insights and their feedback. That is absolutely vitally important. International best practice must dictate the way in which to find the best possible process for justice to be delivered to survivors. And we say too that this process must always remain survivor-focused. And because of this, we welcome your decision to seek public consultation on further action and to investigate the possibility of expanding the scope of the inquiry. This is a defining moment in our history, a defining moment in our society, and a defining moment in how we as a country respond. As you say, Minister, there is a fractured trust between our citizens and our state, and we collectively need to heal that fractured trust. Minister, you will not find us in Fianna Fáil wanting on that. We move on.